This is my 2011 VW T5, and she's a beauty. I've had this van for 2 years, and I bought it with this conversion.
Got a chair at the front and basically just a bed at the back. You got some storage there, you got some storage into the back.
I've dealt with it for the past 2 years, but when I went to Scotland last year and did my NC500 cycle for charity, it really made me think about how bad this conversion was for me. So let's strip it down and reconvert it. So I'm just driving over to my parents' house this morning. My dad's gonna get started on stripping out the van while I'm at work, so then we can start converting. It's basically what you've got at the moment. You've just got a bed and then some storage underneath, a little bit of electrics here. But as you can see, the storage goes all the way back. So if I ever wanted to get something from the back, I'd have to take everything out and then put everything back in again. So that's why I'm converting it. It's just not converted for what I want it for. The mileage is also creeping up, so I am possibly selling it next year. Therefore, within this conversion, I'm thinking about also what is going to make it more desirable for somebody to buy it in a year's time. My dad has kindly stripped the van, but we've run into a problem.
Yeah. So I've just ripped a lot of that up, but we have to come back to here. That's a bit damp.
You're just gonna get a new one of this.
Yeah.
Rock and roll bed will probably be here.
Well, exactly. So the rock and roll bed's on this side, which makes more sense because of the full wall here. You're going to build along here, and if you're going to want anything that's going to have 12 volt running off it, like a fridge or anything, it's going to be on this side. So you're going to have to take the wiring over here anyway.
So yeah, we found damp. So to see where the damp was coming from, we had to strip the wall and strip the ceiling.
I'm doing work.
We actually couldn't find anywhere that could have caused this damp. The van's obviously a 2011 plate, so when they converted it, it might have just been damp for some time. And we also took the seats out to sell for later. I'm now putting everything that was in the van into the house, just so that there's a nice clean van and nothing can get in the way. Selling these. Those chairs are going to be sold, and I'm going to reinvest that money into a rock and roll bed, which I'm then going to put into the van, which obviously will then rock and roll into a double bed. It's now day 2 of converting the van, and there is some signs of damp in the insulation.
It's a bit damper here. This is wet.
So we're putting them out to dry, and when they're dried, we'll put them back in. So right now the process is to take out these speakers, because we don't need them. We're going to have shelving on that side, so we actually don't need this on that side. We're taking out the speakers, we don't need them, we're going to sell them on. We're stripping the van, getting all the wet out. We're cutting the floor to fit perfectly, because obviously the floor is rotten. Hopefully try and get the floor basically sorted today, and then get some vinyl flooring down. Dad cut a new piece of timber out so it can replace the old damp one.
Basically, for the chair that was here before, they had these bolts here, here, and here. Basically, this one won't come out. They've obviously put the chair in manufacturally and then put like an exhaust, because I've got a quad exhaust, pretty sick. And they've obviously put the exhaust on afterwards, which means you'd have to take the exhaust off to then just remove this little bolt. So we're gonna have to cut the bolt off. Shall we just take this carpet out? And I've also gone into Amazon and I've bought some new vinyl flooring that will arrive in a couple days. I wanted to go with vinyl rather than the carpet I already had, just because it's way easier to clean and I actually think it looks way better. Now the insulation is dry and all the damp is now sorted, I need to look online and try and find a rock and roll bed. In other news, I've just picked up some table and chairs back there for some reason. They're pretty dusty, got them off a friend of a friend. We might use them, we might not. But if you want to see me do them up as well, sand them, oil them, paint them maybe, I don't know. Drop a comment to say, Lewis, I want to see it. None of you probably want to see that. I don't want to see that. It's going to be shit. Nothing to do with the van, but picked up tables and chairs. Just now. That was fucking good, wasn't it? Picked up tables and chairs. Oh. So to recap, we've stripped the back, seen what sort of insulation we've got back there. The guy that converted it before used some like old insulation. I've seen a lot of vans using this like new type of insulation at the moment, but we'll probably keep the old insulation just because there's no point spending extra money. We've stripped away all the wood that was rotten. We've stripped away all the carpet that was wet. We stripped away all of the insulation that was wet as well and dried that off. So anything that was damp should not be damp anymore. Anything that was wet should not be wet anymore. Unless it's your mom. What? I booked in my van next week to put the CarPlay radio in, which is pretty cool. Next episode, gonna be putting down vinyl flooring, going to be hopefully getting the rock and roll bed, and then hopefully the episode after that, we're gonna be putting in the shelving unit and just finishing off the van. This first episode is basically just getting shit done. Let me just spit some wisdom at you whilst I clean the shop. I watched a film yesterday. It was called Into the Wild. And it's about this man called Christopher, who graduated college in America and started to hate society to the point where he drove for miles, left his car, and lived for 2 years in the wild. Spoiler alert, unfortunately he dies. But it's a quality film and it tells many stories through the one story. It shows that life can be unpredictable. Life can be hard. Control the controllables in front of you. Learn from your mistakes. Have good, loyal people around you. When good people come into your life, hold on to them. When bad people come, let them go. Love hard, embrace life, and most of life is good. You just need to look in the right direction. And even though he started to hate society and he met a load of people on his travels, he would always push them away, which led to him being alone all the time in the wilderness. But before he died, the last thing he wrote in his journal was happiness isn't real unless it's shared. And that's the one thing I'm going to take away from that film, is that you need to share a load of these moments with people. Traveling alone, being alone is great sometimes, but doing it with other people, sharing that experience with other people is even better. And sorry to anyone if I spoiled the film, but I did say spoiler alert, so that's your fault.